The impact of extending the Kyoto protocols to reduce greenhouse gas emissions is a hot topic at the International Climate Change Summit in Hokkaido. It's no secret that much of what's decided at the summit will fall on the shoulders of generations to come. But how much do young people care about climate change? Here to help answer that question is Richard Louv, author of the bestsellers The Nature Principle and Last Child in the Woods. Richard, thanks so much for joining us. Your books focus on what you have called youth's nature deficit disorder. Explain to us what that is.
Well, it's not a known medical diagnosis. Maybe it should be, but it's not. But it is a way that Last Child in the Woods came out in 2005. We really didn't have much language to talk about what we all sensed was happening, this generational gap between children and nature. But more than ever in history, children are disconnected from the natural world.
How are they disconnected, and what's causing that?
Well, they don't go outside much. I mean, they're on video games, or they're on computers a lot. It's more and more of a virtual experience that they're familiar with. Their parents are afraid of strangers, even though our profession of journalism has greatly magnified the reality there of stranger danger. So there's great fear in the world. And one of those fears is actually the fear of nature. And this starts real early when we start telling kids that the end is near, that it's all about recycling. It's not about the joy of nature. It's about how we're destroying nature. Now, let me make clear, I don't think we should stop telling the bad news about what we're doing to nature. But ecophobia is a phrase that's used to describe children who early on begin to hear that message that associating nature with destruction, that they'll carry with them for the rest of their lives. And instead of associating it with joy, they'll associate it with fear later on.
Some would argue, though, there's still Boy and Girl Scouts are still camping. This recycling or upcycling, as many call it, is a positive connection to nature. Doesn't that help?
Yeah, but it's not enough. And Boy Scouts are losing membership pretty dramatically. Just the statistics that I won't go into on this disconnection are quite troubling.
How is this nature deficit, so to speak, linked to climate change activism among youth and adults?
Well, it's been asked recently in several articles, where are the young people? Why aren't they in the streets almost about climate change? I think there's two reasons. One is the ecophobia, that children are being raised disconnected from nature and, in fact, fearing it. The second reason, I think, is because of environmentalism and journalism. Let me give you an example. I sat with some students at DePaul University recently who wanted to take me to lunch. And these were environmental studies students. And one of them said he had no sense of connection to the big environmental organizations. He went to their meeting. They're all old. And in fact, one of the biggest environmental organizations in the world, 67 is the average age, 64 is the new age. Is the incoming age.
Let me ask you about that. Previous generations, let's say in the 50s, those kids growing up didn't seem to care much about the environment, or they weren't told about it a whole lot. But in the 60s, they turned that around. They kind of championed the cause. Couldn't these kids also turn around like that?
Well, they can, but there's some big things that can't be done just with recycling. Something larger is happening. That group of students that I sat with, one of them was a young woman, a very hip young woman. I know that because she had tattoos. She said, all my life, I'm 20 years old, all my life I've been told it's too late when it comes to nature. All my life. Now, she's an environmental studies student who's hanging on to her idealism by a thread. But in truth, the message that she has mainly received, you and I had some decades to have an alternative view of the future. But she's surrounded by primarily people older than her and younger who are saying it's too late.
There is that argument climate change is too big, it's natural. What kind of impact can we really make? Can a kid or an adult make an impact on climate change?
I keep thinking what it's like to be a 14-year-old today surrounded by adults who shrug their shoulders and say it's too late, or that changing light bulbs is enough. We've got to break this down a little bit. In the 60s, it wasn't climate change. It was a lot of issues. It was the pollution of our rivers. And, our rivers got cleaner because of that commitment in Earth Day 1970. It was things that still go on. We don't have to agree on climate change to be worried about the effect of pollution on our health, to be worried about this disconnection from nature that we see in our kids and ourselves that impoverishes our experience as human beings. I've seen this issue of children in nature bring liberals and conservatives together. It's happening in San Diego. There's a campaign here in San Diego, Children in Nature Collaborative. And they want to take action on that. They don't have to agree on everything, but nobody wants to be in the last generation where it's considered normal and expected for kids to go outside and just experience nature.
All right, we are out of time, so we're going to have to get more of this on our website, kpbs.org. Best-selling author Richard Louv, thanks so much for your insights today.